Welcome. The presentation you're about to view will introduce you to a widely acclaimed, highly engaging, impact-proven STEM course supported by the National Science Foundation for over 10 years. This course is called STEM Guitar. It uses the hands-on construction of solid-body electric guitars to teach STEM topics. This is project-based learning at its best, and STEM guitar courses are currently being taught to students from middle school through four-year universities in 48 states across the continental U.S., providing a unique, fun, and effective educational experience for your students. We invite you to sit back and enjoy this STEM guitar presentation.
What STEM Guitars gives kids the opportunity to do is to really engage math in an authentic way. So they're actually doing math as they go. The reason that we think that that works is that we think that a lot of our students really need to develop efficacy. They need to develop that sense of, I can do this. It really hooks kids in so that they realize that math is important, science is important, engineering is important, and I can do this.
The value of it and the enthusiasm that kids have for it, that families have for it, that staff, and just the appreciation of what comes from doing this hands-on work and offering this program. I was excited about it when I wasn't even a part of it. I thought it was great.
Whenever we tour families onto campus and we talk about STEM guitars and they hold the guitars and they see what's happening, it's a high school class. So kids kind of come in and they look forward to that. It's like, I'm going to do that someday. I'm going to make a guitar.
First of all, you need to have the resource in the teacher. And the excitement, I think, for us is that it's a teacher who likes to build for their own personal enjoyment of the guitar. So there's a passion there that they bring to the classroom.
It's a great investment in personnel. We have a very talented instructor. He's always trying to think of new ways to incorporate students' creativity, their enthusiasm, their interests, and how to tap into their interests and use things in different ways.
It gives them a chance to actually do math, to do engineering, to do science in a real context, something that's relevant to them. It's super cool. What's not to like about building a rock and roll guitar? Like, seriously.
Each year we purchase the guitar kits as part of our building budget so that students who want to participate aren't hindered by any kind of cost factor. Our school board and our superintendent wholly support that idea, that concept that we make for our students and be a budgetary item that we have put into play in the future.
There's about $1,000 in some basic tools and materials that need to be purchased up front so the project can happen. And then the financial investment of getting kits for each session. Finding ways to finance students being part of the program is one of the key elements of sustaining the program.
Being ready for the budgetary piece of it, making sure that you can see that that has a future, in the budget from that point on.
The people make the program. You have someone enthusiastic about this program and that wants to be part of it. I would tap into that and figure out how to grow it because there's lots of possibilities.
We had a brand new space that was available in our new building. We needed to get some supplies, sort of augment the things that we already had. It didn't present itself as challenges rather than just, a to-do list in order to get ready for the class to run.
We have a 50-year-old campus that has an old auto shop in it, but to convert that auto shop to a STEM guitar building shop was an act of Congress. And we could deploy the fiscal resources for it. We had the money. It wasn't that expensive. It was being able to get a clear plan in place and have the district maintenance and operations team navigate the 6 jurisdictions that oversee a project like that and make sure they could pull it off.
We've had opportunities to present at our school board meetings. We've had the opportunity to have media coverage locally on the guitar class, kind of generate the interest within our school community.
We had our school board meeting hosted at our school, and we brought them in and they got to experience how to dip a guitar, add the color. We took them through the process, how to put the paint in and how to dip the guitar and pull it back out, and they were able to experience that fully, which was really exciting, and that got more buy-in, and every year they like to see what's happening next with the program. Now that more people are knowing about the projects and the value to individual students and their self-esteem and their self-image, how they reflect on their own value, that people want to invest.
Absolutely. Staying power. As long as we have students that want to build guitars, and we have the resource in the teacher to do it, we will definitely, have staying power here at Wells High School.
I think the way we've structured it and designed it and funded it is sustainable because everybody in the program buys into it. But I do think it requires leadership. It requires people saying, like, I'm taking a stand for this. This is a good thing, and talking about it in a really positive way. Like I'm going to say to people is like, here are the 5 things we do that are really cool. And I say one of them is STEM guitars. I'm going to keep it going.
As far as the club, I don't see it ever going away because they do get to design their guitar, build their guitar, learn how to play their guitar, and then perform for their peers. It's very broad spectrum of talents that they can display and that they can nurture, and it's just really exciting. So I see it as something sustainable.
We want to make sure that we do things that are cool. But part of good pedagogy is being progressive in what you offer. It's like, what are you doing that's different so that kids on the autism spectrum feel like they have something that they can do. Kids who are hands-on or don't feel good about math have something they can connect to. Kids who have a real commitment to music, they want to build a guitar. You start to look at those things and you go, this is important to do, so we're going to do this.
Along the way, the first group of students found so much joy in it and such positive experience that there's been students up through high school and even adult that continue to return each year and mentor students in the program, or sometimes they're building their own again. We also have teaching staff, classified staff, teachers from other schools, administrators come to build, and we order our own kits and work side by side with the students.
If resources are an issue, like in terms of deploying staff or paying for kits or finding space, like find creative ways to develop partnerships. It's worth treating this differently than you would treat another class.
Being able to build something side by side with a student is exciting, and for them to see the adults struggle and work through problems is important because everything doesn't go our way either. So if something doesn't go their way, at least they have somebody to problem solve with. They may commiserate temporarily and then figure out, how do I get past this challenge? Bringing people of different ages and different abilities, different skill levels together to make some unique products. And so if there's any way to incorporate that into your program, you wouldn't want to miss out on that piece.
I've watched students whose countenance and body language and affect shift dramatically after they started building a guitar. So kids who might have been a little more sullen or introverted or depressed or melancholic, when they're in that luminous space where they're doing the things they're doing, where there's a cognitive challenge, they're getting support from loving adults, it's safe, they're interacting with peers in ways they would never get a chance. I've seen profound shifts in individual students over the course of these last 7 years that I don't think would have happened for those students in any other way. So there are students whose lives have changed because of it. And around the country that's true, and especially the programs deployed in an at-risk situation where students are much more at risk or have much more vulnerabilities or issues. We have students where this becomes their social and emotional learning. It's not just about science, technology, engineering, math, and art. It's about their inner life and how much this affects their confidence and their happiness and how they experience joy and connection to other people.
What we notice too is that students who may struggle with connections or behaviorally or sometimes academically, they really find their niche building something. Guitar Club is great for that, and have some older mentors that are really great too. For example, someone who wasn't even in the guitar club. This guitar here has an example of this pick guard, and that pick guard was designed and all the artwork on it was done by a student. Wasn't always engaged in the projects at hand, kind of issues going on in life that kept them from maybe engaging in the actual coursework design, but as a way to engage the student in a type of learning that met their needs. And she was just allowed to design it however she wanted and bring her artistic and creative side out. She worked on it at home, she worked on it throughout the day. If she was having struggles during the school day, she could work on it then to kind of refocus and reframe. The artistic side of it is another layer where students from diverse backgrounds and interests can kind of display themselves. There's many ways that it can connect.
I remember a time when we had a presentation, and it was a public presentation with our school committee, where a student was presenting his perspective on the course and kind of sharing his experience. And one of the things that he said was this was one class that he felt kept him interested in coming to school. That put a lot of weight on his day to be in school. because it was such a positive experience. The collaboration in the classroom and the things that happened with that small group of students, and also the fact that he could see his work coming to an end product that was exciting to him. And so while there's a lot of learning involved in all of that, it was learning that was fun for him. He said it really impacted his life and his day, excited about coming to school and being engaged in the larger school goal for his education.
The advice I'd have for other administrators is to reach out to schools where it's already in place and find out what is most like how you see it fitting into your school. Doing a site visit would be great just for the experiential learning and seeing how that is, and interviewing students themselves, or people that have been involved with the club would be a great way to do it too. But there are grants out there. There are different things related to CTE that we can tap into, so I wouldn't let any of those things stop you. I just say call someone, find out what they do, see if you can go visit and check it out, because then you'll be hooked.
I feel really good that part of what I do is actually supporting how this work goes into the rest of the country, to the rest of the world. As I really do think that we have to find concrete ways to rethink our pedagogy. This kind of work is critically important to the future of education. Understanding students in this way, collecting data, doing research, and getting the good word out is important. So finding the people that are passionate about it and will keep doing it and teach other people how to do it. We're really lucky because we're kind of this epicenter for STEM guitars. That feels really good, but it feels really good because we need to make sure that all kids in the country get the kinds of experiences that kids at Edmonds Heights get. And that's not going to happen tomorrow without us trying to figure out how to seed the revolution elsewhere.